In this video, we are covering how I pulled this girl home after she left me on red not only once, but twice. I'm going to share all of the texting breakdowns, all of the screenshots, all of the in-date techniques that helped me took this girl home. And as you can see in the end of this story, there is one particular thing that was missing, and it was almost lost me the clapping with this girl, and I figured out the solution, and I'm going to share it with you today. As you know, this is a 53 episode series of me just talking about all of the girls that I clapped over the last 2 years. And the reason why this channel is a bit different is because I'm not talking from theory, okay? I have gone on 405 dates with 201 different girls in 2 years, alright? I have all of the proof, everything is here. You can subscribe to see all of these stories, and you can get many bullet points, many important things from this video so you can apply them in your life, whether you are completely inexperienced or you already have a few experience under your belt, but you just need to, improve a few things or improve the quality of the girls that you're actually dating. So let's get right into it. Now, this girl, let's put you in context. I approached her in the street. She was going to work, okay? It was about, I think, like 3-4 p.m. Now, my memory is not as sharp because this particular story is from 1.5 years ago. So this was actually one of the girls that I ended up, clapping, and she was one of the top ones in my early days, okay? In the beginning, I was struggling way more than I'm struggling now, and this one was one of the highest quality ones in the beginning, so this one has like a nice memory for me. So I approached her in the street. I run her through my usual North system routine. I get her contact. By the way, you have all of the North dating routine for free here in the description. You can just click and you will get it for free, so you know what I'm talking about, okay? I get her contact, and then let's go into the texting breakdown. So I tell her, hello Hungarian miss that likes Dubai and studies international relations, okay? This girl, the way she was walking in the street when I approached her, she seemed a bit posh. Okay, so a bit like high-end girl. She was like walking like very femininely. She had like all of these, nice clothes in her. In the beginning, I didn't approach these girls because I was scared. Like this girl, of course, she has, a husband. This girl, by the way, is like 20, 21, something like that. I'm sure she has a husband, blah, blah, blah. And that would prevent me from approaching these girls. Thank God I approached these ones and many of these high-end girls, because these are one of the top girls, okay? And it's not so hard to get them if you know the right things to do and the right things to say. So, yeah, I say, hello Hungarian miss that likes Dubai and studies international relations, and she says, hello Spanish stranger from the street, okay? Usually this response is not great, but it's not bad. It's pretty decent, okay? When they reply to you with something specific from the conversation, it's good. And that's, by the way, what I do. As you can see, I text her first something related to our conversation, okay? Now, when you approach as many girls as I have approached, you have to have like a system just to organize all of these things, because otherwise you're going to forget. If you're approaching, 30 girls a day, you're going to forget if this girl is the international relations ones or the marketing girl or this student. So just make sure you save them in your phone number or in your contact with like a few information, a few notes, okay? Then I sent her this picture, eating some good Hungarian protein, what are you doing? So by the way, this is a ping, right? And I just send this to all of the girls that I meet in that particular city. I was in Budapest, alright? So I just copy paste. I don't need to make one new message for every girl. And then she says, that's tasty. I'm getting ready with my friend. We are going out. So far, so good. Nothing exceptional. Everything is going according to plan. This is very usual. You just send her a first message, which is called a filler. Then she replies to that. Then you send a ping, you send a picture. Then she tells you, okay, that's good or that's tasty. And then she tells you back what she's doing. Okay? So I just say my stomach agrees. By the way, keep in mind, my texting has changed a bit in this last 1.5 years, but it was still very good. So I say, what days are you free? 10:30 for a drink in the center, miss. As you can see here, complete ghosting. She doesn't reply. Okay, no worries. 2 days later, I send her a photo. By the way, keep in mind, gentlemen, these days, in this trip of 10 days to Budapest, this was 20th September 2024. So I think it was like from the 18th to the 28th of September 2024. So it were 10 days. I end up clapping 4 different girls. So, and I think I went like on 11 dates or something like that. So I was having dates at this point, but I was still following up with my leads, right? It just takes a few extra minutes. I prepare like a photo and I just send it to every girl. And as you can see in this particular case, it really paid off big time. So she doesn't reply for 2 days. I just sent her a photo. I'm not saying anything along the lines of, hello? Question mark? Are you still here? Have you left? Blah, blah, blah. No, I'm just sending another photo, which is, by the way, I don't remember what this photo was because it just shows like, you know what I mean, like previewed photo, whatever. But I think it was something like I was training in the gym or I was doing something and I just sent her like a window to my life. I was doing something and now she has access to that, okay? Then she sends me a photo back, okay? Which is pretty good. Then, that same day, okay, let me go for the date request again. And usually, when they don't accept my first request, usually my first date request is what times are you free or when are you free for a drink in the center, I send like 2 options. So I say, what days are you free around 4:30 or what days after 8, okay? Then she leaves me on red again. This is not good. So then what I usually do is just I go for the instant one. And by the way, this lead was mostly just dead. So if this girl leaves me on red 2 times already, I'm just not having a lot of trust in this lead. But I still, like 3 days later, I went for a date request very soft, like very quick one. So I said, are you free today 8:30? And then she magically responds after 2 leave me on red. And she says, hi, I have to do some errands today, but if I finish early, then maybe yes. So then I say, okay, I will get out of meetings at about 5:30. We'll text you and see if we can make it, okay? I'm just not saying, okay, let's meet, let me know if you're free, because then I'm putting the control in her. I'm saying, okay, I have meetings to do, and then I will text you later, and then we will see, right? And then she says, okay. And then I ask her, it was like 3 hours later, I ask her, how are the errands going? And she says, it's okay, I think I can be ready for 8 or 9. So I say, okay, let's do 8:30 at this place. Do you know where is it? And she says, yes, it's okay. So I just say, good, I will see you soon, miss. And then she says, where are we going? Because I want to dress normal, not too much, not too less. So usually, I always say this. I say, wear something smart, casual, dress cute, so we match. This always works with the girls. By the way, some of the girls, they want to know where you are taking them. And you will feel that that's a bit of like a frame snatch, like they want to get the frame out of you, they want to tell you the best place, so you always have to pick, okay? But still, if you think this girl is the one that actually is going to take a lot of care and she really wants to, dress the part, just tell her something like this, wear something smart, casual, dress cute, so we match, okay? And then she asks, what will you wear? So basically, she kind of misunderstood what I was trying to say. I said dress cute so we match in the sense of, okay, just dress cute, I'm going to be cute, whatever. And then she thought I was going to tell her exactly what I wore. But anyways, I said black pants, black leather jacket. I said, okay, I will be late some minutes, but I'm ready to go. And then I say, okay, when are you arriving? Usually 30 minutes before the date. I say, are you arriving this time, right? So if we are meeting, let's say 8:30, I will send her a photo of, a message at 8, and I will say, are you arriving 8:30? Why? Because I don't want to go to a place and then just be left there. And the girl doesn't come. This, from my 405 dates, with this system, this has only happened, I don't know, like 3 or 4 times that the girl just doesn't show to the date. But with this question, like, you're saving yourself waiting there, right? Or just being there and the girl never shows up. So I sent her the link of the place that we are meeting. Meet me here, this is in the plaza. Says, okay, 20 minutes. And then I say, okay, we'll see you there 8:30. And then I sent her a photo of, my apartment saying, okay, quick Hungarian dinner, okay? Why am I sending a photo of my apartment before meeting her? That's a good question. So the reason why I'm doing this is I want her to get familiar with my apartment before she sees it in person, right? Because it's way easier than to pull, because she already, saw it in photos. Ideally, you want her to see it in person before you end up pulling her later in the venue, so after the date. A thing you can do, by the way, is you can meet the girl in your place the first time. So basically you meet her downstairs and you tell her, okay, we are going to walk from here to the bar. And then once she arrives and she's like downstairs in your place, then you say, actually, let me grab something, I have to finish this, or I forgot to put my dog this food, but come here 5 minutes and then we go, right? So basically she comes just in the beginning of the day, she gets familiar with your place. You don't try to escalate, you don't try to do anything. You could potentially if the situation is very easy, but then now she has been already in your place. So then later on, when you are going to the bar, and then pulling her back home is way easier if she's familiar with it. So this of sending her a picture or a video of your place before the date is something that definitely can help, and I've been testing it for a long time. So quick Hungarian dinner, I will see you that time, okay, enjoy, okay. And then I ask her, you're arriving 8:35, sends photo, I'm here, I say arriving 1 minute, okay. So now, what happens now? So we go on the date, okay, and the dating structure as well, I mean, you can have it for free on North Dating System, link in the description. But I run the usual dating structure. She's sitting across from me in the table because I want it that way, by the way. People always say, yeah, you have to sit close to her. I want to see her eyes. I want her to see me like from the front in the first minutes of the date, right? On the first minute of the bar. So I always sit across from them. At some point, I will make an excuse or whatever, so she comes here close to me, okay? So yeah, we're talking about her job, this, that. She's like a manager of a wine store, okay? But she's still like 21, so this girl is a bit accomplished for her age. She was very hot, very cute, very nice body. So the game that I did with this girl is kind of more showcasing my dominant traits and my my lover traits, and because she was competing with me initially, right? That's how these business or manager girls are. So I tried to get out of that frame. And at some point she started respecting my frame. So then we go on the same bar. I make the move for her to sit close to me. I put her thing here. Okay, come here, sit close to me. I will show you something in the phone. I've shared this technique many times on my channel with the particular way I'm looking at the girl. I'm not looking at the girl, and I'm just moving this and moving that. So she comes here to me, close to me. I start escalating physically, and at some point I go for the kiss. Now, sometimes I recommend going for the kiss in the bar. Sometimes I don't. It really depends on the girl, it depends on the country, it depends on the culture. So with this girl, I went for the kiss in the venue. Then I pulled her home, okay? And she came up pretty easily initially. So we were escalating, everything was kind of smooth. And at some point it was already, I think, like 2 a.m. And she was telling me, I need to go. So usually when they say these things, after you've kissed and you're kind of escalating physically, usually you have to agree with them in the verbal side of things, but you want to keep the thing going on the non-verbal side of things. So you can say, yeah, for sure, you definitely need to go, we need to control ourselves. Yeah, because I have to wake up early tomorrow. You say that, but you're still escalating physically, right? And this has worked for me many times in the past. So I continue to do this with this girl, and things are getting like closer and closer to the final clapping. And at some point, she says, no, I really need to go, and she starts saying the excuses, basically. So she was saying she has to go back to her friend's home. Keep in mind, gentlemen, this is 2 a.m., okay? She needs to go back to her friend's home because her girlfriend just broke with the boyfriend. Okay, so this is the girl. She has a girlfriend, and this girl just broke up with her boyfriend. So my girl needs to go to her place to just talk with her, make her, be very calm. That's what she was saying to me. We don't know if that's true. I don't think that's true. Something that could have happened is that she was not shaved down there, and she was just putting this excuse to go home, shave, and then come back. So she was telling me, okay, let's do one thing. I have to go home. I will come back. Right? This sounded like absolute fakeness. Like I was thinking, this is not happening. It's 2 a.m. She's going to go home. She's going to arrive there 3 a.m. In what way is she coming back after that? Like in my experience, that didn't happen in the past. So that's why I was trying to push for it, right? So yeah, long story short, she ends up going home. I pay for a taxi on her way home, and then I get her a taxi back. And then, as you can see here, she texts me. She says, I got here, okay? And then I tell her, okay, rate Victor out of 5 stars. And then it says 4. Who the f*** is Victor? Victor is the Uber driver. Usually I tell all of the girls to say this, we keep the conversation going, and then she feels like you are leading, and it's like a nice frame to have, a nice text to send the girls. And then I said done. And then I told her when we were meeting, okay, tell me how much time are you going to need in your home before you come back. So she says, thank you, 20 minutes approximately, I think. I said, okay. And then she says, what's the address? Is this the place? Blah, blah, blah. And then I just sent her the address. And then I asked her, what time are you arriving? 5 minutes faster than I thought. Okay. And then I said, okay, the taxi is 5 minutes. I got her the taxi for her. Okay, 5 minutes faster than I thought. Okay, 2 minutes, boom. And then she arrived at 2 a.m. or 3 a.m. And then she sent me another message the next day. I got home. Thanks for the taxis again. So this story tells you that you need always to keep pushing, going for it. Now, most of you, at the minimum resistance, maybe would have just thought, okay, let's wait for the next date. She's definitely interested now. Let's wait for the next date. Now, I've had this mistake so many times in the past, gentlemen, that everything seems so good, that everything is going great. And then you have the certainty that she's going to come back again, and then she never comes. There are a few girls that seem super interested, but then they go home, they rationalize things, and they just don't want to see you again. Whereas, if you get the clapping as early as possible, she's going to get attached as early as possible. was the case with this particular scenario. We ended up meeting more times, like 2 or 3 times more in that 10-day window trip, and then I never came back to that place like for years. So she sent me like a flying kiss video for my birthday. Maybe I can pop it up here, or I have to ban her face. So in that case, probably not, but not ban, like blur her face. But gentlemen, hope you got some value out of this video. As I said, we are going to be making like 53 episodes from this series. I think this is like the 3rd episode or the 4th episode already. So subscribe and let me know if you want me to continue making these videos. As you know, by the way, it's fully raw, it's fully transparent. I'm just talking from my heart. I stumble upon my words so many times, but it's still good. So you can have the free North 18 system in the description. You can watch my next video here or my next video here. See you soon. Take care.